balcony roads to serene valleys between towering peaks, the Alps offer a lifetime of riding condensed into 10 routes worth every mile. In this video, you'll get both the inspiration to dream big and the practical details to make it happen, including the best season to ride, estimated times, and the challenges to expect. As you watch, picture yourself on these roads and tell me in the comments which Alpine region you'd ride first if you could set off tomorrow. Let's start with a journey that stitches together France's highest paved passes into one unforgettable line across the mountains. The Route des Grandes Alpes is France's ultimate high mountain ride, stretching 435 miles from Lake Geneva in Thonon-les-Bains to the Mediterranean at Menton. It runs through a chain of towering passes and sweeping valleys, a complete cross-section of the French Alps in one trip. Plan 2.5 to 3 days to ride it comfortably so you can take in the scenery without rushing. The challenge isn't only in the bends, it's in the season. Many key passes, including Galibier and Iseran, are often closed until mid-June some years. Even after they open, sudden weather changes can close sections without warning. September is often the best bet. Calmer weather, lighter traffic, and open roads. One standout is the Col de l'Iseran. At 2,764 meters, the highest paved pass in France. Its broad switchbacks and open views give you an uninterrupted sense of the Alps scale. Do it over several days and check each pass's opening dates before you go. From here, the terrain changes, and the road surface itself starts to add its own unique challenge. In Slovenia, the Vršić Pass Loop offers a ride defined as much by its surface as its scenery. Starting and ending in the lakeside town of Bled, the full loop most riders take covers about 120 miles, but the Vršić Pass road itself, running from Kranjska Gora to Bovec, is around 43 kilometers, or roughly 27 miles. It climbs to 1,611 meters, the highest pass in Slovenia, with stretches of good tarmac broken by tight cobbled hairpins. Expect a mix of smooth asphalt and those cobbles. In wet conditions, they become slippery, so slow down and choose traction over speed. The ascent winds through alpine forest and open slopes, with wide views over the Julian Alps. A quick, worthwhile stop is the Russian Chapel, built during World War I by prisoners of war. It's right beside the road. Traffic stays light here compared to the more famous Alpine passes, leaving you free to ride at your own rhythm. Open late spring through early autumn and closed in winter, it's a route that rewards attention and precision, setting you up for another high crossing where conditions demand just as much planning. High in the Alps, the Timmelsjoch Loop links Austria and Italy in a ride built for altitude and variety. Starting and ending in Riesia, this 185-mile loop crosses the Timmelsjoch High Alpine Road, a major pass at over 2,500 meters, and often includes the Ötztal Glacier Road, the highest paved road in Europe at about 2,830 meters. Timmelsjoch has a toll, and Austria enforces a 95 decibel exhaust limit, so it's best to be prepared before you reach the booth. Weather can turn quickly here, even in summer. Blue skies can drop to fog, rain, or light snow within an hour. Once on the pass, you'll find a clean, well-kept surface. The Italian side flows with wide, sweeping curves. Crossing back toward Austria, the road tightens into more technical bends that demand precision. The Glacier Spur is a narrow climb into stark, high alpine terrain, and it even featured in a Bond film chase scene, making it a unique stop for riders and film buffs alike. From here, another loop awaits that mixes altitude with history, crossing borders in a very different way. One loop connects 3 countries and 2 iconic alpine crossings. Starting and ending in Bourg Saint-Maurice, this roughly 200-mile route links the Grand and Petit Saint-Bernard passes in a continuous circuit through France, Switzerland, and Italy. The ride carries you from valley floors up toward snow-streaked peaks, with bends that hold your attention all the way. Switzerland's motorways require a vignette, so this loop is planned to avoid them. If your sat-nav tries to take you on an A road, turn it off and follow the scenic signs. You'll skip the fee and see more. The Grand Saint Bernard delivers big, open views as you crest the border, while the Petit Saint Bernard packs in tighter cols with frequent pull-offs for photos. Small roadside cafes across all 3 nations make easy fuel stops, both for the bike and for you. Different languages, changing menus, and shifting landscapes make the borders feel immediate. And once you're back in France, the scenery takes a very different turn, where rock walls close in and the road clings to their edge. From Saint Saint-Nazaire-en-Royan, the Col de la Machine Loop covers about 205 miles through the Vercors region, a full-day ride with serious elevation changes. Here, narrow lanes, exposed drops, and tunnel sections mean you should expect minimal guardrails, ride defensively, and be ready to stop for oncoming local traffic. The balcony roads, cut into sheer rock, give wide views over the valleys, but concentration takes priority. The route runs over Col de Menet, with its steady, open climb, and Col du Rousset, where a long hairpin sequence feels like a more relaxed, less intense version of the Stelvio. Each pass delivers a different rhythm, and the scenery shifts sharply between them. If you skirt Grenoble, you must have France's Crit Air Pollution sticker. Order it online 6 weeks in advance so it reaches you in time. Missing it can mean fines if you enter controlled zones. By the time you complete the loop, you'll have seen why this road is revered for both its views and its focus demands. And you'll be ready for a route where multiple passes link together into a single, concentrated hit of mountain riding. 4 passes in a tight loop that's easy on distance but intense on riding. Starting in Corvara in Badia, the Cor Sella Ronda covers roughly 50 to 60 kilometers, about 32 to 37 miles, linking the Sella, Gardena, Campolongo, and Pordoi passes in a near-perfect circuit through the Dolomites. Many riders extend it with nearby passes, which is how longer totals like 140 miles appear in some guides. Each pass offers a mix of sweepers and tighter switchbacks, short, intense riding where every mile is scenic. High summer traffic and village speed cameras make mid-September to early October the ideal window. These small towns enforce low limits strictly, and missing a sign can mean an automatic ticket. Outside of the peak months, you can move more freely and focus on the lines ahead. If you add one detour, make it Passo di Jau. It's a stunning run that adds variety without straying far from the core loop. This is a ride built from distinct segments that feel like individual highlights, a style you'll see again in another Alpine circuit where each section brings its own character. From Andermatt, a 135-mile figure-8 circuit links 5 of Switzerland's finest passes in one ride: Furka, Grimsel, Susten, Oberalp, and Tremola, the old cobbled St. Gotthard route. Each has its own character, from Furka's open sweepers and glacier outlooks to Susten's flowing valleys. The tarmac is generally smooth, the markings clear, and frequent pull-offs make it easy to pause for views or photos. Tremola's hand-laid cobbles are a piece of living history, but they need respect. If it's wet, consider taking Highway 2 instead. And if you want to ride Tremola, it's safer and more enjoyable climbing it rather than descending. Check live pass conditions before you set out. Late snow can delay openings, and that can shift the best month to ride this loop. Small cafes dot the route, so you're never far from fuel or a hot drink, but an early start is key to completing it in daylight. This loop packs glacier views, classic high passes, and historic roads into a single day if you pace it right. After this, the next climb brings a very different kind of challenge. 48 hairpins stack tightly on the classic northern climb of Stelvio Pass, leading to a summit at 2,758 meters. Starting in Risia, this 185-mile loop builds toward a 30-kilometer ascent that takes you to Italy's highest paved pass. Each switchback is narrow, with a steep drop on one side and a rock face on the other, leaving little margin for error. Avoid weekends if you can and aim to start before 10 a.m. to miss the worst tourist and bicycle traffic. Passing chances are limited, and several bends force you right down into first gear. At this altitude, weather moves fast, with wind and sudden cold making the surface unpredictable. The descent demands as much focus as the climb. Watch brake usage on the long gradients. Repeated braking can cause fade, so check pads and fluid before you start. Near the summit, the Tibet hut is often treated as a rider's ritual stop. Grab a coffee, take a photo, and pause to take in the peaks before heading down. From here, the next road will feel very different. One designed from the start to give you the smoothest, most uninterrupted run through the mountains. Starting and ending in Zell am See, the Grossglockner Loop runs about 230 miles, with the Grossglockner Hochkalpenstrasse as its centerpiece. This is a purpose-built high alpine road with an impeccable surface and long, even bends that let you hold a steady line without worrying about rough patches or uneven camber. There's a toll to ride the main section, and Austria enforces a 95 decibel exhaust noise limit, so check your setup before you set off. The two key stops are Edelweissspitze, with its high viewpoint and parking area popular with riders, and Kaiser Franz Josef Höhe, which offers a direct view of the Pasterze Glacier beneath Austria's highest peak. Both are easy detours from the main stretch and worth the time. For lighter traffic and softer light for photos, aim to ride early in the morning or late in the afternoon. Outside peak hours, the road feels calm and open, giving you space to enjoy its design at your own pace. Leaving here, the next climb takes you higher still, where the peaks brush against the thin air and the landscape strips back to bare rock. From Castellane, the La Bonnette Loop runs about 210 miles through quiet country stretches before tightening into high-altitude riding on the Col de la Bonnette. The col itself reaches 2,715 meters, but the loop around the Cime de la Bonnette climbs to about 2,802 meters, the highest paved road in France. This is a steady ascent that trades tree-lined bends for bare rock and thin air. High winds, low visibility, and late opening or early closures are common here, so check road status before planning. The area is often closed in winter and can be blustery even in midsummer. When cloud covers the summit, wide panoramic views disappear and you can find yourself navigating in gray haze instead. A vivid highlight en route is the Gorges du Sillon and d'Alouis, where red rock walls flank twisting roadways. Parts of the loop also trace the historic Route Napoleon with its smooth surface and flowing curves. Reaching the top, you're riding at the very limits of France's paved roads, an environment that asks for your full attention and rewards it with the clarity of true high mountain travel. The Alps reward the riders who prepare well. Before you set off, check pass opening dates so you don't hit a closed road, plan early starts to avoid crowds, and know the local rules. Vignettes, tolls, and noise limits can all affect your ride. Pick one route or link several into a multi-day trip and match your timing and bike setup to the routes you've chosen. Which one would you ride first? Drop it in the comments, and if you found this guide useful, consider subscribing for more route breakdowns. Pick a road, plan it right, and the ride will stay with you.